Give me 7 days, not to teach you the whole English language, not to fill your mind with more grammar, but to break the invisible wall between what you know and what you can actually say. Because your real problem is not English. It is the pause before you answer. It is the voice asking, "Is this grammatically correct?" It is the fear that one mistake will make you look foolish. It is translation stealing your words while the conversation moves on without you. For 7 days, we are going to attack that pause. You will train your ears until fast English becomes clearer. You will copy patterns until sentences come without force. You will speak while fear is still telling you to stay quiet. And on the 7th day, you will face the question you have avoided for years. Were you ever unable to speak English? Or were you simply afraid to let your imperfect voice be heard? Let us begin. 1. Kill the grammar voice in your head. The biggest enemy of your English may not be your lack of words. It may be the voice inside your head. You want to say something simple. I went to the market yesterday. But before you speak, the voice starts asking questions. Is this past simple? Should I use went or have gone? Is the sentence correct? What if I make a mistake? While you are checking the grammar, the moment is gone. The other person is waiting. Your mind becomes empty. You know the answer, but you cannot say it. This is why many learners can complete grammar exercises but cannot handle a real conversation. They have trained their minds to inspect English, not to use it. Grammar is useful, but grammar should support your speaking. It should not stand in front of your mouth like a police officer. When a child learns a language, the child does not study rules first. The child hears the same patterns again and again. Give it to me. I don't want it. Where are you going? Let me see. The child copies these patterns before understanding the rules behind them. You need to bring this natural process back into your English. Stop trying to build every sentence from zero. Start using complete phrases that you have already heard. Do not think. Subject plus helping verb plus object. Think. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me think. That makes sense. I've never tried that. These are ready-made pieces of language. You can take them from your memory and use them quickly. The first technique is called the 3-second answer. Ask yourself a simple question. What did you eat today? Give yourself only 3 seconds to begin answering. Do not wait for a perfect sentence. Say, I ate eggs. I had some bread. I drank tea. Your answer can be short. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to move your mouth before the grammar voice takes control. Use this with 10 easy questions every day. What time did you wake up? What are you doing now? What do you want to learn? What made you happy today? Where would you like to travel? Start speaking within 3 seconds. The second technique is 1 sentence, 3 ways. Take one easy idea. I am tired. Now change it without studying a rule. I'm a little tired. I'm tired because I worked all day. I'm tired, but I still want to practice. This teaches your brain to move around an idea without becoming trapped. The third technique is permission to be simple. Many learners freeze because they are trying to sound advanced. They want to say, due to the difficult circumstances I experienced, I was unable to complete the task. But they could simply say, I had a problem, so I could not finish it. Simple English is not weak English. Clear English is powerful English. You do not need the longest word. You need the word that comes out. When the grammar voice says, that sentence may be wrong, answer it with action. Say the sentence anyway. Then listen to the correct version later. Speaking gives you information. Silence gives you nothing. A mistake shows you what to improve. Fear only keeps you in the same place. For the next 7 days, make one rule. Never stop in the middle of a sentence to repair small grammar. Finish the idea first. You can correct it after you speak. Communication comes first. Correction comes second. The moment you accept this, English becomes lighter. You stop carrying every grammar book into every conversation. You begin trusting the language you already know. And for the first time, your mouth starts moving faster than your fear. 2. Train your ears until English slows down. Native English often sounds fast because your ears are waiting for a version of English that people do not really speak. You may have learned, "What are you going to do?" But in real speech, you may hear, "What are you gonna do?" You learned, "Did you eat yet?" But you hear, "Jeet yet?" You learned every word separately. Real speakers connect them. That connection makes English feel like one long sound. The problem is not always speed. The problem is that your brain does not know where one word ends and the next word begins. Imagine seeing a sentence without spaces. What did you do yesterday? The words are familiar, but the sentence is difficult to read. Connected speech creates the same problem for your ears. Your job is not to force native speakers to slow down. Your job is to teach your ears how spoken English is shaped. Start with a technique called the 5-second loop. Choose a very short piece of audio, only 3 to 5 seconds. For example, "I didn't know you were coming." Do not listen to a full video again and again. Long audio hides your weakness. A short loop exposes it. Listen once without subtitles. Ask only one question. What sounds can I catch? Maybe you hear, "Didn't know." Maybe you hear, "Coming." That is enough. Listen again. This time, notice the rhythm. Which word sounds strong? Which words almost disappear? You may hear, "I didn't know you were coming." Listen a third time with subtitles. Now connect the sound to the written words. You may discover that "you were" sounds more like "you were." You may notice that the speaker does not give equal power to every word. Listen again without looking. The sentence will already feel slower. The audio did not change. Your ears changed. This is an important truth. English becomes slower when your brain becomes better at predicting it. The first time you hear an unfamiliar sentence, every sound is a surprise. After several focused repetitions, your brain knows what is coming. That is why the same clip sounds easier after 5 or 10 listens. Do not call repetition boring. Repetition is where hearing becomes understanding. Use the 3-pass listening method. In the first pass, listen for the general meaning. Do not chase every word. Ask, is the person happy, angry, worried, or excited? What are they talking about? In the second pass, listen for key words. Names, places, actions, numbers, important nouns and verbs. In the third pass, listen for hidden sounds. Small words like to, of, the, have, would, did. These words are often weak and fast. They are not always pronounced clearly. For example, I want to go may sound like I wanna go. I have to leave may sound like I have to leave. Could you help me may sound like could you help me. Do not become obsessed with copying every informal sound. First, learn to recognize it. You cannot understand what your ears have never been trained to notice. Another useful method is sound marking. Write one spoken sentence on paper. For example, what do you want to do? Now mark the strong words. What do you want to do? The important words carry the message. The smaller words create the connection. Tap your hand on the table when you hear each strong word. What, want, do. This helps you feel English rhythm. English does not move like a machine. It moves like music. Some beats are strong. Some sounds are weak. Some words stretch. Some words disappear. When learners try to hear every word with equal force, natural speech feels impossible. When they learn to follow the strong beats, Meaning becomes easier to catch. Use prediction practice before listening. Read the title of a short video. Look at the picture. Ask yourself, what words will probably appear? Suppose the video is called My Morning Routine. You may predict, wake up, brush my teeth, breakfast, work, coffee, shower. Now when those words appear, your brain catches them faster. Prediction is not cheating. Prediction is part of natural listening. Even in your first language, you rarely listen with an empty mind. You use the situation to guess what may come next. Do the same in English. You should also separate hearing practice from understanding practice. Sometimes you understand the idea, but cannot hear the exact sentence. Sometimes you hear the words, but do not know their meaning. These are different problems. For hearing practice, use audio with words you already know. For vocabulary practice, study new words without demanding perfect listening at the same time. Do not fight two battles in one exercise. Here is a simple daily ear training routine. Choose one clip that is 10 to 20 seconds long. Listen once for meaning. Listen again and write what you hear. Check the subtitles. Circle the words you missed. Listen to only those parts again. Copy the speaker's rhythm. Then listen one final time with your eyes closed. This can take 15 minutes. But those 15 minutes are stronger than watching 2 hours of English without attention. Passive listening may help you become familiar with English. Focused listening changes your ears. Do not measure success by how many videos you complete. Measure success by how many sounds you can now hear that were invisible yesterday. One day, you will return to an old clip that once sounded impossible. You will understand it easily. The speaker will sound slower, but the speaker never slowed down. You trained your ears until English finally opened. 3. Stop translating before it steals your answer. Translation feels helpful because it gives you a bridge between your language and English. In the beginning, that bridge is useful. But if you never leave it, it becomes a traffic jam. Someone asks, what do you usually do on weekends? First, you translate the question into your language. Then you create an answer in your language. Then you search for English words. Then you check the grammar. Then you finally speak. By that time, several seconds have passed. The conversation no longer feels natural. You may believe that you need more vocabulary, but often, the real problem is the long path your answer must travel. Your thought is taking the slow road. You need to build a shorter road from meaning to English. This does not happen by shouting, "Stop translating." Your brain translates because English is not yet automatic. You must give it a better system. Start with direct naming. Look around your room. Name what you see in English. Door, window, chair, phone, cup. Do not first say the word in your language. Connect the object directly to the English word. Then add a small action. The door is open. My phone is charging. The cup is empty. The window looks dirty. You are teaching your brain to move from image to English. The next level is action narration. As you move through your day, describe what you are doing. I'm washing my hands. I'm opening the fridge. I'm looking for my keys. I need to answer this message. I'm getting ready to leave. Keep the sentences easy. Do not turn this into a grammar exam. The purpose is to connect real life directly to English. You see the action. You say the action. No translation is needed. The next technique is meaning before words. Suppose you want to explain that you missed the bus because you woke up late. Do not search for a perfect sentence. First, see the meaning as 3 small pictures. I woke up late. I ran outside. The bus had already left. Now speak one picture at a time. I woke up late. I ran to the bus stop, but the bus was gone. You do not need to translate a long, complete sentence. You only need to express one small piece of meaning at a time. This is how fluent speakers handle difficult ideas too. They break the thought into parts. Learners often freeze because they try to translate a complete paragraph before opening their mouths. Make your thoughts smaller. Small thoughts move faster. Use English islands during your day. Choose short periods when you will use only English in your mind. Start with 5 minutes. While making tea, think only in English. While walking, think only in English. While waiting for someone, think only in English. Do not try to think about deep subjects. Stay close to what you can see and feel. It is hot today. The road is busy. I feel tired. That man is carrying a heavy bag. I hope the shop is open. 5 minutes of direct English thought is better than 1 hour of forcing yourself to think about complicated ideas. As it becomes easier, increase the time. 5 minutes becomes 10. 10 becomes 15. The goal is not to remove your first language from your life. Your first language is part of you. The goal is to stop needing it for every English sentence. Another powerful method is the question and answer reflex. Prepare 20 common questions. What do you do? Where do you live? What kind of music do you like? What did you do yesterday? What are your plans for tomorrow? Record the questions on your phone, leaving 5 seconds after each one. Play the recording. Answer immediately. Your first answers may be short. I work from home. I live in Lahore. I like calm music. I visited my friend. I need to finish some work. Repeat the same questions every day. After a few days, your answers will become faster and longer. You are building a direct path. Question, meaning, answer. No translation meeting in the middle. You also need replacement phrases for moments when your mind goes blank. Fluent speaking does not mean you always know the exact word. It means you know how to continue when the exact word is missing. Learn phrases like, it is something you use for, it is a kind of, it looks like, it is the opposite of, I don't know the word but, let me explain it another way. Suppose you forget the word umbrella, do not stop. Say, it is something you use when it rains. The other person may give you the word. Now the conversation continues. This skill is more valuable than knowing thousands of words, but freezing when one disappears. Translation also becomes strong when you consume English that is too difficult. If you understand only 20%, your brain may run back to your first language for safety. Use material that is challenging but not crushing. You should understand the main idea. You should recognize many of the words. A little difficulty helps you grow. Too much difficulty makes your mind depend on translation. Try picture retelling. Choose a simple photo. Maybe a family eating dinner. Do not write anything first. Look at the image and speak. There are 4 people at the table. They are eating together. The father is talking. The little girl is smiling. Maybe they are celebrating something. There is no original sentence to translate. You must create English directly from what you see. You can do the same with silent videos. Watch 10 seconds without sound. Pause. Describe the action in English. Then play the next 10 seconds. This forces your brain to produce language from events, not from translated text. Another technique is simple word thinking. Many learners know an idea in their first language but cannot find the exact English word. They become silent because they think there is only one correct way to express the idea. There is almost always another way. You may not remember exhausted. Say very tired. You may not remember disappointed. Say I expected something better, but it did not happen. You may not remember hesitant. Say I was not sure if I should do it. Fluency grows when you become flexible. A rigid speaker needs the perfect word. A flexible speaker finds another door. At the end of each day, do a 1-minute English replay. Close your eyes. Remember your day. Speak for 1 minute. I woke up at 7. I felt sleepy, so I stayed in bed for a few minutes. Then I made breakfast. I had a busy morning. In the afternoon, I received a call from do not prepare, do not translate, keep moving, use easy words. When you finish, listen to your recording. Do not attack every mistake. Choose only one thing to improve. Maybe you used the same word too many times. Maybe you paused after every sentence. Maybe one part was unclear. Improve one thing tomorrow. The aim is not to think in perfect English. The aim is to make English available when you need it. At first, your first language will still enter. Do not panic. Do not fight your mind. Simply return to English. See the picture. Feel the meaning. Use the words you have. Every time you do this, the distance between thought and speech becomes shorter. One day, someone will ask you a question. You will answer without preparing. After the conversation, you may suddenly realize something surprising. You did not translate. The answer simply came. That moment is not magic. It is the result of building the direct road again and again, until your mind finally chooses it. 4. Copy native patterns until they become instinct. Many learners try to speak English by collecting individual words. They learn decision, opportunity, experience, improve, confidence. But when it is time to speak, the words remain separated inside the mind. A word alone is not enough. You need to know what usually comes before it, what often comes after it, and how people use it in real situations. Fluent speakers do not build every sentence one word at a time. They use patterns. I'm trying to. The reason is that I'm not used to. It depends on. One of the best things about these patterns are like ready-made roads. You only need to place your idea on them. Take the pattern. I'm trying to. I'm trying to improve my English. I'm trying to wake up earlier. I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to understand this problem. One pattern can produce many useful sentences. This is faster than opening a grammar rule every time you speak. The first step is to build a pattern bank, not a word list. When you hear a useful sentence, do not save only the new word. Save the whole piece. Do not write. Avoid equal sign, stay away from something. Write. I'm trying to avoid. I usually avoid. It is difficult to avoid. Do not write only. Proud. Write. I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. One thing I'm proud of is. This gives your brain language it can actually use. Choose patterns connected to your real life. A business owner may need. We are currently working on. The main problem is. We need to find a way to. A student may need. I didn't understand the part about. Could you explain this again? I'm preparing for. A traveler may need. How long does it take to? Is there a place where I can? I'm looking for. Your pattern bank should help you speak about your world. Do not collect beautiful phrases that you will never use. Collect sentences that solve real communication problems. Use the one pattern, 10 lives technique. Choose one pattern. For example, I used to create 10 true sentences. I used to wake up late. I used to be afraid of speaking. I used to watch cartoons every day. I used to live near my school. I used to translate every sentence. The sentences should come from different parts of your life. Childhood, work, family, habits, learning, travel, feelings. When you use one pattern in 10 situations, it stops feeling like a lesson. It begins to feel like part of your voice. The next technique is copy, change, own. First, copy a sentence exactly. I didn't expect it to be so difficult. Say it several times with the speaker, then change one piece. I didn't expect it to be so expensive. I didn't expect it to be so crowded. I didn't expect it to be so interesting. Finally, make it personal. I didn't expect English listening to be so tiring at first. Now the sentence is no longer only something you heard. You have made it yours. This process is powerful because it protects you from two common mistakes. The first mistake is only copying. If you only repeat exact sentences, you may sound good during practice, but fail to create new ideas. The second mistake is creating everything alone. If you invent every sentence without a model, your English may sound unnatural. Copy gives you the correct shape. Change gives you control. Personal use gives you ownership. You should also learn conversation frames. A conversation is not a random collection of sentences. It often follows familiar steps. When giving an opinion, personally, I think the main reason is, for example, that is why. When telling a story, one day, at first, then something unexpected happened. In the end, when explaining a problem, the problem started when I tried to, but it didn't work because, so now I need to. These frames reduce mental pressure. You do not have to decide how to organize every answer. The frame carries the structure for you. Practice one frame with several topics. Use the opinion frame for social media, exercise, online learning, working from home, living in a big city. Use the story frame for a funny mistake, a difficult day, your first job, a journey, a childhood memory. The content changes, the structure stays. After enough repetition, the structure becomes instinct. Another essential technique is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a speaker and speaking almost at the same time. But many learners do it badly. They choose audio that is too fast. They try to copy a full minute. They become lost after the first sentence. Good shadowing begins small. Choose one sentence. Listen without speaking. Understand the meaning. Notice the strong words. Then play it again and speak with the person. Do not worry if you are slightly behind. Copy the rhythm. Copy the pauses. Copy the emotion. Suppose the speaker says, I honestly don't know what I would do in that situation. Do not say every word with equal force. Listen for the shape. I honestly don't know what I would do in that situation. Repeat it several times. Then record yourself alone. Compare only 3 things. Was your speed close? Were the strong words in the right places? Did your voice rise and fall naturally? Do not compare your accent with hate. The goal is not to erase your identity. The goal is to make your speech easier to understand and more natural to hear. Use backward building for difficult sentences. Take, I should have told you about it earlier. Start with the end, earlier, about it earlier, told you about it earlier. Have told you about it earlier, should have told you about it earlier. I should have told you about it earlier. This helps your mouth handle long patterns without falling apart. It is especially useful for phrases that feel physically difficult to pronounce. Your tongue needs training just as your mind does. Another method is pattern, interruption. Learners often use one safe structure again and again. I like coffee. I like traveling. I like English. This is understandable but limited. Take the same idea and force yourself to use new patterns. I'm really interested in traveling. One thing I enjoy is traveling. I've always wanted to travel more. Traveling gives me a sense of freedom. You are not learning new topics. You are learning new ways to carry the same topic. This makes your speech richer without requiring thousands of new words. Create a weekly pattern family. Choose one central idea, such as uncertainty. Learn related patterns. I'm not sure if. I haven't decided yet. It depends on. I need some time to think. I'm still considering. Now practice them in mini conversations. Are you coming tomorrow? I'm not sure if I can. Which course will you choose? I haven't decided yet. Should we travel by bus or train? It depends on the price. These patterns belong to the same communication family. Learning them together helps you react more naturally. You should also practice fast retrieval. Knowing a pattern is not the same as being able to use it quickly. Write 10 situations on small cards. You forgot someone's name. You disagree politely. You need more time. You did not hear the question. You want to change the subject. Pick one card. Give yourself 3 seconds to produce a useful phrase. I'm sorry. Could you remind me of your name? I see your point, but I think, can I get back to you on that? Could you say that again? By the way, I wanted to ask, this turns language knowledge into a speaking reflex. It is like practicing emergency exits before a real emergency. When the moment comes, you do not need to invent the way out. One major reason learners forget phrases is that they review them only by reading. Reading creates recognition. Speaking requires retrieval. Close the notebook. Try to remember the phrase. Use it in a sentence. Say it at normal speed. Use it again the next day. Then use it 3 days later. Then use it 1 week later. Each time you pull the pattern from memory, it becomes stronger. A phrase you recognize is not yet yours. A phrase you can use under pressure belongs to you. At the end of each week, choose your 10 best patterns and create a personal speech. Talk for 2 minutes about your life while using all 10. Do not place them in random sentences. Connect them naturally. For example, I'm currently working on my English listening. One of the hardest things for me is understanding fast speech. I used to translate everything, but now I'm trying to think directly in English. The main reason I want to improve is record it. Listen again. Repeat the same speech 2 days later without reading. You will notice that the patterns return faster. They begin to connect with one another. That connection is the beginning of fluency. Fluency is not knowing every possible sentence. It is having enough strong patterns to express many possible ideas. You do not need to carry the whole language in your head. You need a set of powerful pieces that can combine in hundreds of ways. Copy them carefully. Change them boldly. Use them repeatedly. At first, you will search for the pattern. Then the pattern will start searching for the moment. Someone will ask a question, and the right phrase will rise by itself. That is when practice becomes instinct. 5. Speak while your fear is still talking. Many people are waiting for fear to disappear before they speak English. They tell themselves, I will speak when I feel confident. I will join a conversation when my pronunciation improves. I will practice with people after I learn more words. But confidence does not usually arrive before action. It arrives because of action. You do not become brave and then speak. You speak while feeling nervous, and that experience slowly teaches your mind that speaking is safe. Fear has many voices. What if they laugh? What if I forget a word? What if my accent sounds bad? What if they think I am not intelligent? These thoughts feel personal, but they are common. The mind is trying to protect you from embarrassment. The problem is that it treats a small speaking mistake like a serious danger. Your heart beats faster. Your mouth becomes dry. Your memory feels blocked. You may know the sentence during practice, but lose it in front of another person. This does not mean your English has disappeared. Stress has made it harder to reach. You need to train your English under small levels of pressure. Not extreme pressure. Small, controlled pressure. Begin with the fear ladder. Write 7 speaking situations from easiest to hardest. For example, speak alone for 1 minute. Send yourself a voice message. Record a message for a trusted friend. Ask a simple question in English online. Join a short voice call. Speak to a stranger in English. Give a 5-minute talk. Do not jump from silence to the hardest step. Climb 1 level at a time. Stay on each level until it feels uncomfortable but possible. Then move upward. The goal is not to feel zero fear. The goal is to prove that you can act while fear is present. Use the 10-second courage rule. Whenever you have a chance to speak English, act within 10 seconds. If you wait longer, fear will create excuses. You will think, maybe this is not the right time. Maybe they are busy. Maybe my question is too simple. Count backward. 10, 9, 8. Then speak. Ask the question. Send the voice note. Join the discussion. Courage often has a very small window. Use it before overthinking closes it. You also need a mistake budget. At the beginning of each week, give yourself permission to make 50 spoken mistakes. This changes the game. Usually, you try to avoid mistakes. Now your goal is to collect them. Every mistake means you spoke. Every correction gives you useful information. If you make only 2 mistakes all week, maybe you did not speak enough. Write down only the mistakes that repeat. Do not record every tiny problem. Suppose you often say, "He go to work." Notice it. Practice. He goes to work. My brother goes to work. She goes to school. Then return to speaking. Do not turn every conversation into a grammar lesson. Correct patterns, not every breath. Fear becomes stronger when you imagine that everyone is judging you. Most people are not listening for your grammar. They are listening for your meaning. Think about someone speaking your language as a learner. If they say, "Yesterday I go market," you still understand. You may even respect their effort. Give yourself the same kindness. Your accent is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you learned another language after learning your first one. The goal is clear communication, not becoming a copy of someone else. Use the recovery sentence method. Prepare phrases for moments when you get stuck. Give me a second. I know what I mean, but I'm looking for the word. Let me say that again. What I'm trying to say is, I lost my thought for a moment. These phrases keep you inside the conversation. Without them, one missing word can feel like the end. With them, a pause becomes normal. Fluent speakers also pause. They restart sentences. They change words. They say, "What I mean is." The difference is not that they never struggle. The difference is that they know how to recover. Practice deliberate imperfection. Record yourself speaking for 2 minutes with one rule. You are not allowed to restart the recording. If you make a mistake, continue. If you forget a word, explain it. If you pause, breathe and continue. This teaches your mind that a mistake does not destroy the whole performance. Many learners waste energy restarting. They record the first sentence 10 times. They are training perfection, not communication. Real conversations have no restart button. Train for reality. Another useful exercise is volume training. Fear often makes your voice small. You speak softly. Your words become less clear. Then the listener asks you to repeat. You believe your English was wrong, but they simply could not hear you. Stand up. Open your chest. Speak to a point on the opposite wall. Do not shout. Use a clear, steady voice. Record the same sentence at 3 levels. Too soft, too loud, clear and natural. Learn what confident volume feels like in your body. Your physical position affects your mental state. When you look down, hold your breath and squeeze your shoulders, fear grows. Before speaking, place both feet on the ground. Relax your jaw. Breathe out slowly. Then begin with a sentence you know well. Do not start with your most difficult idea. Start with a safe opening. In my experience, I think there are 2 reasons. Let me give you an example. A familiar first sentence creates movement. Once you begin, the next sentence often becomes easier. Use small social missions. Do not wait for a perfect English-speaking environment. Create tiny goals. Ask someone for the time in English. Leave a short voice comment. Call a hotel and ask one question. Join an online group and introduce yourself. Ask a shop worker whether something is available. Your mission is not to have a long conversation. Your mission is to enter, communicate, and leave. Small victories change your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who speaks, not someone who is preparing to speak. After each mission, do not ask, "Was my English perfect?" Ask, "Did the other person understand me? Did I complete the purpose? Where did I freeze? What phrase would help next time?" This turns embarrassment into data. Suppose you wanted to ask whether a shop accepts cards, but you forgot the phrase. Later learn, "Do you accept card payments? Can I pay by card?" Now you are stronger for the next situation. Fear is reduced through specific preparation. General study does not always help a real moment. Practicing the exact situation does. Use role rehearsal before important conversations. If you have a job interview, do not only study vocabulary. Practice the questions aloud. Tell me about yourself. Why do you want this position? What are your strengths? Record your answer. Listen. Make it shorter. Make it clearer. Repeat until the opening feels familiar. If you need to make a phone call, write the first 2 lines. "Hello, I'm calling to ask about. Could you tell me whether?" You do not need to script the whole conversation. Prepare the door. Once the door opens, you can walk through. You should also build tolerance for not understanding everything. Fear is not only about speaking. It also appears when the other person answers quickly. You may panic after missing one word. Then you stop listening to the rest. Learn clarification phrases. Could you say that a little more slowly? Did you say Thursday or Tuesday? What does that word mean here? So, you mean I should call again tomorrow? Clarifying is not failure. It is a communication skill. Even native speakers ask for clarification when information is unclear. The strongest speaker is not the person who pretends to understand. It is the person who knows how to repair the conversation. Another fear is comparison. You hear someone speaking smoothly and think, "They are talented. I am slow." You see the result but not the practice behind it. Maybe they have listened to English for 10 years. Maybe they have made thousands of mistakes. Maybe they speak well about familiar topics, but struggle in other areas. Compare your current voice only with your past voice. Keep one recording every week. Speak about the same topic for 2 minutes. My goals. My daily routine. A lesson I learned. After 1 month, listen to the first recording. You may notice faster answers, longer sentences, fewer empty pauses, clearer sounds. Progress is easier to see when you keep evidence. Your feelings are not always honest. A recording is evidence. You will still have difficult days. Some days, every sentence will feel heavy. Do not use one bad conversation as proof that you cannot speak. Language performance changes with energy, stress, sleep, topic, and the other person's speaking style. One struggle is one struggle. It is not your identity. End every speaking session with one sentence of success. Today I spoke for 3 minutes without stopping. Today I asked a question even though I was nervous. Today I explained a word instead of becoming silent. This trains your brain to notice courage, not only errors. Fear may continue talking. Let it talk. You do not need to defeat every fearful thought before taking action. You can hear the fear and still press record. You can feel your heart beating and still ask the question. You can forget a word and still complete the message. Each time you continue, fear loses authority. It may stay in the room, but it no longer controls the microphone. 6. Turn listening into automatic speech. Many learners listen to English every day, but still cannot speak. They watch videos, they hear podcasts, they understand movies, but when they need to answer, the language does not come. This happens because understanding and producing are different skills. Listening puts language into your mind. Speaking pulls language out. If you only practice input, your English may become familiar but remain passive. You recognize sentences when someone else says them, but you cannot create them yourself. The solution is not to stop listening. The solution is to change what you do after listening. Every useful listening session should create speech. Think of listening as the first half of a circle. Speaking completes it. Use the listen, pause, produce method. Choose a short clip. Listen to one sentence. Pause the audio. Do not repeat it immediately. Say the same meaning in your own words. Speaker: I decided to stay home because the weather was terrible. You might say, the weather was bad, so I didn't go out. You are not copying sound now. You are converting meaning into speech. This is one of the strongest bridges between listening and speaking. The next step is to add your own idea. Speaker: I decided to stay home because the weather was terrible. You say, the weather was bad, so I stayed home. I usually enjoy rainy days, but that day the roads were dangerous. Now the original sentence has opened a personal conversation. Use the 3-level response system. After listening to any short piece, respond at 3 levels. Level 1. Repeat one key sentence. Level 2. Explain the idea in your own words. Level 3. Give your opinion or experience. Suppose you hear a person say, morning exercise helps me stay focused during the day. Level 1. Morning exercise helps her stay focused. Level 2. She feels more active and can concentrate better after exercising. Level 3. I don't exercise every morning, but when I walk early, I also feel more energetic. This process forces the language to move through different parts of your mind. You hear it, you understand it, you rebuild it, you connect it to yourself. That is how passive language becomes active. Use echo training for fast reactions. Play a sentence, pause, repeat it immediately without looking at subtitles. Do not worry about perfect accuracy. Try to hold the whole sound in your short-term memory. Start with 4 or 5 words. I'll call you tomorrow. Then increase the length. I'll call you tomorrow after I finish work. Then make it longer. I'll call you tomorrow after I finish work and let you know what happened. Echo training strengthens your ability to hold spoken English long enough to reproduce it. This helps during conversation, because you often need to remember the other person's sentence while preparing your response. Another technique is question harvesting. Whenever you listen to English, collect the questions people use. Questions are powerful because they keep conversations moving. You may hear, what made you decide that? How did you get started? What do you mean by that? Have you ever thought about? Instead of only repeating these questions, answer them. What made you decide to learn English? I wanted to understand international videos and speak to more people. How did you get started? I started with short listening clips, then used the same question with another person or another topic. A question becomes active when you can both understand it and use it. Create a response bank from your listening. Most learners collect interesting words, collect reactions too. That's a good point. I've never thought about it that way. I completely agree. I'm not convinced. That sounds difficult. You must have been surprised. These small responses make you sound present in a conversation. Fluency is not only giving long speeches, it is reacting quickly and naturally while someone else speaks. Watch interviews and notice how listeners respond. They do not remain silent until the other person finishes a 5-minute story. They say, right, Exactly. Really? That makes sense. No way. These short phrases show emotion and keep the connection alive. Practice them with the correct tone. Really can show surprise. Really can show doubt. The words are the same. The voice changes the meaning. Use emotion copying. Choose a short line from a film, interview, or story. Do not copy only pronunciation. Copy the feeling. If the speaker is excited, sound excited. If the speaker is disappointed, allow your voice to fall. If the speaker is uncertain, use a softer tone. Without emotion is harder to remember. Emotion gives the sentence a place in your body. It also prepares you for real communication, where meaning lives in tone as well as words. Another powerful method is story reconstruction. Listen to a short story that is 30 to 60 seconds long. Do not write every sentence. Write only 5 key words. For example, train, late, wrong station, stranger, meeting. Now close the audio and tell the story using those words. Your version does not need to match exactly. You might say, a man was traveling by train to an important meeting. He was already late. Then he realized he had got off at the wrong station. A stranger helped him find another train, and he finally reached the meeting. Listen again. Notice what you missed. Tell the story a second time. Add 1 or 2 details. This builds memory, organization, and speaking control at the same time. You are learning to hold a sequence of meaning, not just isolated sentences. Use silent prediction during listening. Pause before the speaker finishes a thought. Guess what may come next? Speaker, I wanted to buy the jacket, but... Pause. Say, it was too expensive. They didn't have my size. I changed my mind. Then continue the audio. Your answer does not need to be correct. Prediction activates your speaking brain. You are no longer only receiving language. You are participating. This makes listening more energetic and teaches you common sentence directions. After I wanted to, but, a problem often follows. After the reason is, an explanation follows. After, for example, a specific case follows. These signals help you respond faster. Try role switching with dialogues. Listen to a short conversation between 2 people. Read or repeat both parts once. Then choose one role. Play the other person's line and answer as your character. After that, stop copying the original answer. Create a new answer. Person A, would you like to join us for dinner? Original person B, I'd love to, but I already have plans. Your new answer, sure, what time are you meeting? Or, thank you, but I'm feeling tired tonight. One question can lead to many correct responses. This teaches flexibility. Real conversations do not follow scripts. You need to hear the situation and choose a response. Use topic recycling to stop forgetting. Choose one topic for 3 days. For example, habits. Day 1. Listen to a short video about morning habits. Retell the main points. Day 2. Listen to a different person discussing bad habits. Compare the 2 videos. Day 3. Give your own advice about building a good habit. Because the topic stays the same, useful vocabulary repeats naturally. Wake up. Routine. Consistent. Difficult. Change. Daily. Motivation. Repeated vocabulary becomes easier to retrieve. You are not memorizing a list. You are meeting the same language in different situations. This is how words become available for speech. Another method is 1 audio, 7 outputs. Use 1 short audio clip for several speaking activities. First, repeat the main sentence. Second, explain it simply. Third, ask a question about it. Fourth, answer your own question. Fifth, disagree with the speaker. Sixth, give a personal example. Seventh, summarize everything in 20 seconds. Suppose the audio says, "Working from home gives people more freedom, but it can also make them feel isolated." Your outputs could be, "Working from home gives freedom, but may feel lonely." Why do some people feel isolated at home? They may not meet coworkers or talk to many people. I don't fully agree because some people communicate more online. I worked from home last year, and I sometimes missed being around others. The speaker says remote work has both benefits and problems. One sentence has now produced a complete speaking workout. This is far more powerful than playing the clip 20 times without responding. Build an automatic answer set for common conversation topics. You should be able to speak for 1 minute about your work or studies, your family, your daily routine, your city, your goals, your interests, a recent experience, a problem you solved, something you are learning, your plans for the future. Do not memorize one perfect speech. Build flexible parts for your city. I've lived here for. One thing I like is, the biggest problem is, if you visit, you should. Now listen to people discussing similar topics. Take useful patterns. Add them to your own answer. Repeat your answer several days later using different words. Automatic speech grows through familiar meaning. When you know the topic well, your mind can focus on language. You also need to train speed without panic. Use the same speaking task 3 times. First, speak for 2 minutes. Second, explain the same idea in 1 minute. Third, explain it in 30 seconds. This forces you to choose the most important words. Then reverse the process. Start with 30 seconds. Add examples for 1 minute. Add a story or opinion for 2 minutes. This teaches control. Fluency is not speaking fast all the time. It is being able to expand and shorten your message as needed. Try the no empty pause drill. Speak for 1 minute without allowing a silent pause longer than 2 seconds. You may use natural filler phrases. Let me think. How can I explain this? The first thing that comes to mind is, what I mean is, do not fill every space with Use meaningful phrases that give your mind time. This is not cheating. Conversation contains thinking time. The skill is learning how to hold the floor while your next idea arrives. After recording, listen for places where your mind stopped. Ask why. Did you lack a word? Did you lose the structure? Did you try to create a difficult sentence? Prepare a solution. If the word was missing, learn a replacement phrase. If the structure was missing, use a frame. If the sentence was too difficult, divide it into 2. Every pause has a reason. Find the reason and you can train it. You should also practice listening at different speeds. First, choose clear speakers. Build accuracy. Then add natural interviews. Build flexibility. Later, include different accents and backgrounds. Build range. Do not begin with the hardest movie scene and call yourself weak. Difficulty must rise slowly. A person who lifts 10 kilograms does not begin training with 100. Your ears and mouth also need progressive weight. Use one clear source until you feel stable. Then add variety. Do not change speakers every minute. Consistency helps you notice patterns. Variety helps you adapt. You need both, but in the right order. At the end of every listening session, ask, what can I now say that I could not say before? Maybe the answer is one pattern. I ended up. Maybe it is one reaction. That must have been difficult. Maybe it is one story you can now retell. That is real progress. The purpose of listening is not only to understand another person. It is to borrow their language, organize it inside your mind, and return it with your own meaning. When listening and speaking are connected every day, something begins to change. You stop feeling that English enters your ears and disappears. Sentences stay, Patterns return. Responses become quicker. You hear a phrase in the morning and use it in the afternoon. You listen to a story and tell it in your own way. English is no longer only sound coming toward you, it becomes language moving through you. 7. Become the person who no longer freezes. Freezing does not happen because you know nothing. It happens because too many things demand your attention at the same time. You are trying to understand the question. Remember vocabulary. Choose grammar. Control pronunciation. Watch the listener's face. Avoid mistakes. Plan the next sentence. All of this happens in a few seconds. Your brain becomes overloaded. Then the words disappear. To stop freezing, you do not need to become perfect in every area. You need to reduce the number of decisions your mind must make during speech. Automatic patterns reduce decisions. Familiar topics reduce decisions. Prepared recovery phrases reduce decisions. Strong listening reduces decisions. Repeated speaking reduces decisions. The person who no longer freezes is not the person who knows every English word. It is the person whose basic English works without constant permission. Your final goal is not only to complete 7 days of practice, it is to build a new speaking identity. You must stop seeing yourself as someone who is not ready yet. You are a speaker in training. A speaker speaks, even with limits, even with mistakes, even with fear. Start by understanding your freeze point. The freeze point is the exact moment your speech breaks. For some learners, it happens when they do not understand the question. For others, it happens when they know the idea but cannot find one word. Some freeze when the listener looks impatient. Some freeze after making one grammar mistake. Some freeze because they try to give a long answer immediately. Record 5 real or practice conversations. After each one, write, "What happened just before I froze?" Be specific. Do not write, "My English is bad." Write, "I tried to remember a difficult word. I did not know how to begin. The question was too long. I worried about my pronunciation. I lost the order of my story." A specific problem can be trained. A general attack on yourself cannot. If you freeze at the beginning, prepare launch phrases. In my opinion, there are a few reasons. I've never thought about that before, but from my experience, that's an interesting question. These phrases give your mind a few extra seconds. They also create a clear direction. If you freeze in the middle, use bridge phrases. The next thing is, another reason is, for example, what happened after that was. The important point is, these phrases connect one idea to the next. If you freeze because of a missing word, use description paths. What does it look like? What is it used for? Where do people find it? What is similar to it? What is the opposite? Suppose you forget receipt. You can say, "The small paper they give you after you pay." Suppose you forget appointment. You can say, "A planned time to meet the doctor." This is not weak communication. This is advanced survival skill. It keeps meaning alive. If you freeze because an answer feels too large, use the 1, 2, 3 structure. Give one main point, add 2 details. Finish with one example. Question: why are you learning English? Main point: I'm learning English because it can create more opportunities for me. Detail 1: it helps me understand more information online. Detail 2: it also allows me to communicate with people from different countries. Example: for example, I can take international courses and speak with teachers directly. You do not need to invent the structure while speaking. 1 point, 2 details, 1 example. This works for opinions, experiences, explanations, and interview answers. For stories, use the place, problem, action, result structure. Place: last month, I was traveling to another city. Problem: My bus broke down in the middle of the journey. Action. I called the hotel and told them I would arrive late. Result. They kept my room and I reached the hotel that night. A clear structure protects you from becoming lost in details. When your mind knows the next step, it is less likely to freeze. Now build your 7-day fluency reset. This is not a promise that you will master English in 7 days. No honest teacher can promise complete fluency in 1 week. But 7 focused days can change the way you listen, respond, practice, and see yourself. They can break the habit of silence. They can prove that your English is more available than you believed. Day 1. Remove the need to be perfect. On the first day, your job is to speak without repairing every sentence. Choose 5 familiar topics: your morning, your family, your work, your goals, your favorite activity. Speak for 1 minute about each topic. Do not stop the recording. Do not restart. Do not use a dictionary while speaking. When a word is missing, explain it another way. After all 5 recordings, listen once. Choose only 3 repeated problems, not 30. Maybe you pause too long before beginning. Maybe you repeat very too much. Maybe you forget the past form of common verbs. Write these 3 problems on paper. They will guide the week. Then create 5 recovery phrases. Let me think for a second. What I mean is, I don't know the exact word, but let me explain it another way. The main point is, practice each phrase 5 times. Your first day is not about beautiful English. It is about proving that imperfect English can keep moving. Day 2. Slow English down with your ears. Choose one speaker with clear, natural English. Use a clip that is 30 seconds long. Listen once for the main idea. Listen a second time and write the words you hear. Check the subtitles. Mark where words connect. Circle the sounds that surprised you. Break the clip into 5-second parts. Repeat each part until it becomes clear. Then shadow the full clip. Do not choose another video. Stay with the same 30 seconds. Deep practice is more useful than constant searching. After shadowing, close the subtitles and explain the clip in your own words. Then answer. Do I agree? Have I experienced something similar? What question would I ask the speaker? Now the listening has produced speech. Later that day, listen to the clip one final time. Notice how much slower it feels. Keep that feeling. It is evidence that the ear can change quickly when attention is strong. Day 3. Break the translation chain. Choose 3 parts of your day for English-only thinking. 5 minutes while getting ready. 5 minutes while eating. 5 minutes while walking or sitting quietly. Describe what you see, do, need, and feel. Use simple sentences. I need to leave soon. This food tastes good. I forgot to charge my phone. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Do not translate difficult thoughts. Replace them with easier English. If you cannot say, I am overwhelmed by several responsibilities, say, I have too many things to do, and I feel stressed. The meaning survives. That is success. Next, answer 20 common questions with only 3 seconds to begin. Do not prepare long answers. Start quickly, then add detail. What do you usually do after work? I usually go home and rest for a while. Then I eat dinner and finish anything I could not complete during the day. Your focus is the direct road from question to answer. At night, give a 2-minute replay of your day. Do not write first. Speak from memory. Day 4. Build your personal pattern engine. Review the speaking problems from day 1. Now collect 15 patterns that solve those problems. If you struggle to begin answers, that's an interesting question. The first thing that comes to mind is, I would say that if you struggle to give reasons, the main reason is, one reason for this is, that happens because. If you struggle to give examples, for example, a good example is, this happened to me when. If you struggle to add ideas, another thing is, on top of that, there is also, choose patterns you will actually use. For each pattern, create 3 true sentences. Then use all 15 patterns in a 5-minute talk. The talk may sound unnatural at first because you are forcing the patterns into use. That is fine. A new skill often feels mechanical before it feels natural. Record the talk again later without looking at the pattern list. Notice which phrases return. Those are beginning to become active. Day 5. Speak under safe pressure. Today, increase the pressure slightly. Choose one real person or online space where you can use English. Send a 60-second voice message. Join a short speaking room. Call a friend who is also learning. Ask a question in a live class. Record a video as though you are speaking to an audience. Before speaking, do not prepare every sentence. Write only 3 key points. Use your launch phrases. If fear appears, begin within 10 seconds. Your goal is not to sound impressive. Your goal is to stay present. During the conversation, use one clarification phrase if needed. Could you repeat the last part? Do you mean? Could you say that a little more slowly? Use one recovery phrase if you get stuck. After the conversation, write what worked. Then write only one thing to practice. Do not punish yourself with a long list of flaws. Repeat the same speaking task later if possible. The second attempt will usually feel easier because the situation is no longer completely new. Day 6. Convert everything into speech. For 1 full day, stop consuming English without producing something. After every video, podcast, paragraph, or short post, speak. Give a summary. Ask a question. Share an opinion. Retell an example. Even 30 seconds is enough. Use the 3-level response. Repeat the main idea. Explain it differently. Connect it to yourself. Choose one short story and reconstruct it from 5 key words. Choose one opinion and argue both sides. For example, social media is useful. Support it. It helps people communicate and learn quickly. Challenge it. It can also waste time and affect mental peace. Then give your balanced view. I think it is useful when people control how they use it. This teaches your mind to move, compare, and respond. Fluency needs mental flexibility. You should not only repeat what you hear, you should be able to turn it, question it, shorten it, and make it personal. At the end of day 6, speak for 5 minutes about everything you learned during the week. Use no notes. Keep moving. Your speech may not be perfect, but it will be more alive. Day 7. Prove the new identity. Return to the 5 topics from day 1. Record yourself speaking about each topic again. Use the same 1-minute limit first. Compare the recordings. Do you begin faster? Do you recover more smoothly? Do you use stronger patterns? Do you give clearer examples? Do you sound less afraid? Then choose one topic and speak for 5 minutes. Use a simple structure. Opening. 3 main points. Examples. Closing thought. Do not write a script. Write only key words. The purpose is to prove that you can organize your thoughts in real time. Next, complete one courage mission. Speak to a person. Post a short English video. Join a discussion. Ask and answer questions. Do something that the old version of you kept delaying. When it is finished, write, I am not waiting to become an English speaker. I speak English now, and I improve through speaking. This sentence is not empty motivation. It is a decision about behavior. Your identity must be connected to evidence. You spoke for 7 days. You trained your ears. You answered without translating every word. You used patterns. You acted through fear. You turned listening into speech. You have evidence. Now the 7 days must become a repeatable system. After the challenge, use the daily 40-minute fluency cycle. 10 minutes of focused listening, 10 minutes of shadowing and pattern practice, 10 minutes of direct speaking, 10 minutes of review and correction. During focused listening, use a short clip. During shadowing, copy rhythm and useful phrases. During direct speaking, respond, retell, or give an opinion. During review, choose 1 or 2 problems. This cycle is simple enough to repeat. A system must be strong, but it must also fit real life. A perfect 3-hour plan that you quit after 2 days is weaker than 40 focused minutes you repeat for months. On busy days, use the 10-minute emergency version. 2 minutes of listening, 2 minutes of repeating, 3 minutes of speaking, 3 minutes of reviewing. Never allow a busy day to become a 0 day. A small practice keeps the speaking path open. Consistency protects the identity you are building. You also need to expand beyond familiar topics. Automatic speech begins in familiar areas, but it must grow. Each week, choose 1 new topic: health, technology, education, money, travel, relationships, environment, work. Learn 20 useful patterns and words around that topic. Listen to 3 short pieces. Give 3 spoken summaries. Answer 10 questions. Record 1 5-minute talk. At the end of the week, have 1 conversation about the topic. This gives your English direction. Random study creates random knowledge. Topic-based study creates usable depth. Do not chase rare vocabulary. Learn the language people need for real ideas. For the topic of health, you may need, "I've been feeling. The doctor advised me to." 1 way to improve your health is, "The problem with this habit is." For technology, 1 advantage is, "The biggest concern is." It has changed the way people. In the future, we may. Patterns help you enter the topic quickly. You should continue using recording as a mirror. Record yourself once a week for at least 5 minutes. Do not delete old recordings. They are your history. When you listen, review 4 areas. Clarity. Can you understand your words? Flow. Do ideas connect? Range. Are you using different patterns? Recovery. What happens when you get stuck? Choose 1 area for the next week. Do not try to fix everything. Focused improvement creates visible change. Suppose your clarity is good, but your flow is weak. Spend the week using connectors. First of all. However, as a result, for example, in the end, suppose your flow is good, but your answers are shallow. Practice giving reasons and examples. Suppose your ideas are strong, but pronunciation causes confusion. Choose 10 important words and practice them inside full sentences. Work on the part that limits communication most. Fluency is not 1 skill. It is a team of skills working together. 1 player may need more training than the others. You must also protect yourself from the advanced material trap. After a few successful days, many learners choose content that is far too difficult. They believe struggle always means growth, but confusion without understanding does not build strong speech. Use the 80% rule. Choose material where you understand around 80% of the main message. The remaining difficulty gives you something to learn. If you understand almost nothing, choose an easier source. There is no shame in clear material. Easy input can produce advanced fluency when you use it deeply. You can take 1 simple sentence and create 10 responses. You can shadow it, change it, question it, disagree with it, tell a story about it. Complexity should come from what you do with the language, not only from difficult vocabulary. Another danger is becoming addicted to planning. You create beautiful schedules, download many apps, save hundreds of videos, buy courses, organize notebooks, but your mouth stays closed. Use the output test before adding any new resource. Ask, how will this make me speak? If you watch a video, what will you retell? If you learn a word, what sentence will you create? If you study a pattern, where will you use it? If you listen to a podcast, what question will you answer? Every input should have an output path. Without output, knowledge remains behind glass. You can see it, but you cannot touch it during conversation. You must also stop measuring fluency only by speed. Fast speech can still be unclear, repetitive, and empty. Real fluency has several parts. You can begin without a long delay. You can explain your meaning with available words. You can connect ideas. You can understand enough to respond. You can recover from mistakes. You can adjust your language to the situation. Sometimes the most fluent response is slow and clear. Do not rush because you want to sound native. Speak at the fastest speed you can control. Control first, speed later. Use pauses with purpose. After a main idea, pause. Before an example, pause. When changing direction, pause. A calm pause sounds stronger than frightened speed. There will be moments when you freeze again. This is normal. Old habits do not disappear in a straight line. You may speak well with a friend and struggle in a meeting. You may understand one speaker and feel lost with another. You may sound fluent on a familiar topic and slow on a new one. Do not say, "I lost all my progress." Ask, what made this situation harder? Maybe the topic was new. Maybe the accent was unfamiliar. Maybe you were tired. Maybe the group conversation moved quickly. Now you have a new training target. Progress does not mean every situation becomes easy. It means you know how to respond when a situation exposes a weakness. Create a freeze recovery plan. When you freeze, breathe out. Use a recovery phrase. Return to one simple sentence. Give one example. Ask a question if needed. Suppose someone asks, "How has technology changed education?" Your mind becomes blank. Say, "That's a big question. I think one major change is access." For example, students can now learn from teachers in other countries. What kind of technology do you use for learning? You did not need a perfect answer. You needed one road forward. The question at the end also shares the conversation and gives you time to listen. Conversation is not a test where you must speak alone forever. Use the other person. Ask follow-up questions. React to their answer. Build together. That is natural communication. The final change is emotional. You must stop treating English as a judge of your intelligence. English is a tool. When the tool is new, your ideas may sound simpler than they truly are. This can be painful. You may be intelligent, creative, and experienced, but feel like a child when speaking. Remember that your English level is not your human level. A limited sentence does not mean a limited mind. Do not allow temporary language limits to become permanent shame. Respect the courage required to express yourself in another language. Speak with the words you have while building the words you need. The person who no longer freezes is not fearless. This person has simply practiced the way back. When a word disappears, they describe it. When a sentence breaks, they rebuild it. When they miss a question, they ask for repetition. When fear speaks, they begin anyway. When a mistake happens, they keep the conversation alive. That is what you are building. Not a perfect performance, a reliable return. You are building a mind that knows, "I may pause, but I can continue. I may make a mistake, but I can repair it. I may not know the word, but I can explain the meaning. I may feel fear, but I can still speak." Repeat the 7-day cycle whenever you feel stuck. Do not repeat it in exactly the same way. Increase the challenge. Use longer clips. Choose new topics. Speak with new people. Give longer answers. Tell more detailed stories. But keep the same foundation. Listen deeply. Think directly. Use strong patterns. Speak before fear grows. Turn input into output. Recover instead of stopping. This is how fluency is built, not through one perfect week, through many imperfect days that continue moving in the same direction. One day, you will enter a conversation and notice that you are not studying English inside your head. You are using it. You are listening to meaning. You are responding to the person. You are not watching every verb. You are not translating every thought. You are not asking for permission to speak. The words may not all be perfect, but they are alive. They are yours. And when your mind becomes empty for a moment, you will no longer believe the conversation is over. You will breathe. You will find another way. You will continue. That is the moment you become the person who no longer freezes. 7 days will not make your English perfect, but they can make you brave enough to use it. Keep listening. Keep copying. Keep speaking before fear stops you. Your mistakes are not proof that you cannot speak. They are proof that your voice is finally coming alive. Do not wait for perfect English. Use the English you have today, and let fluency grow from there.